You're watching Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Ernie Anastos and Kaity Tong. Eli Zaret has sports, Storm Field with weather, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Here's what's happening. We may finally be coming out of the latest deep freeze to hit this area. Tonight, for the first time in 3 days, the temperature reached close to the freezing mark. And, of course, the wind died down a bit, but it's going to get just a bit worse before it gets better. Temperatures will plunge to the single digits tonight in the outlying areas before a bit of a warming trend comes our way tomorrow. We'll have more on the forecast in just a bit. Kaity?
And imagine how bad it would be to find yourself suddenly homeless on a freezing night like this one. Lou Yun tells us about a fire in Harlem where brave firefighters saved many lives, but lost the battle to save a tenement.
Icicles cover the outside of the building at 148th and Amsterdam tonight. A cushion on the sidewalk continues to smolder. The police watch for possible looters. No one is sleeping here tonight.
I'm just trying to find some place that I can stay.
It started about noon in a second-floor bedroom. Firefighters think a child used a match to look for a lost toy under a bed.
I had on pajamas. I just put on some clothes and come down on that damn thing there.
On the cherry picker?
Yeah. And the guy, one of the guys on there, he was on there hollering about his cat, man. I said, man, let's this man get this thing to the ground. The cat got 9 lives. I ain't got but one.
20 people were rescued from the building. Twice that number live here. It is all a little bewildering to stand in the cold and watch your belongings go up in smoke.
I couldn't salvage nothing. Even the cat up there, well, he already burned up.
The good news is no one was seriously hurt. The bad news is that when the flames die and the sun goes down, it seems colder and lonelier than usual. Home is no more.
I don't know how they're going to restore this building because it's been gutted out from 3 floors, you know. So, you know, everybody's fighting from this.
Most of the people who lived in this building have found places to spend this very cold night with friends or relatives, but at some point, some of them are going to have to find new places to live in a city already desperately short of housing stock. In Harlem, Louis Young, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, difficulties for a lot of people, and how long will the cold snap be with us? Here's Storm Field joining us right now with some more.
All right, Ernie, what it looks like right now on the map is you've got a large storm center down to the south of us. That's warmer and moisture air that's coming up from the south. But for us, that polar flow, cooler air coming down from the north is blocking this off from getting to us, or we would have gotten some more snow and some more miserable weather. So the cold weather this weekend was actually a blessing in disguise. That cold air is going to be just enough of a damming front to block most of this activity from us, so we can expect a very gradual moderation over the next couple of days. We'll have more details on the weather a little bit later. Kaity?
All right, thank you very much, Storm. In Israel, the trial of John Demjanjuk is underway. Is this man, who worked in a Cleveland auto factory after World War II, Ivan the Terrible, the guard who tortured Jews and sent them to Hitler's gas chambers at Treblinka? The defense says it is a case of mistaken identity.
The only outcome in a prosecution which is predicated on the basis of questionable identification is the acquittal of the accused.
The key evidence against Demjanjuk is an identification card furnished by the Soviet Union. This is Israel's first war crimes trial since the Adolf Eichmann case in 1961. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir is in the United States. His 9-day visit started in New York with a meeting with New Jersey's Governor Thomas Kean. Kean is often mentioned as a Republican vice presidential prospect, and he was one of several GOP leaders to see Shamir. The Israeli Prime Minister had the Iran arms scandal on his mind. Shamir says Israel has nothing to hide. He sees President Reagan tomorrow morning. Ernie?
Here in our area, it took nearly 7 months, but the police have finally solved the mystery of the missing bus. It was stolen last summer, you recall, after it was used to bring Mets fans to Shea Stadium from Virginia. Will Spens tells us now about how the bus was recovered.
This is one of 2 suspects in custody tonight because last August this bus was stolen from in front of a hotel while the charter passengers from Virginia were sleeping. How do you find a missing $150,000 bus? Well, the owner placed an ad in a New York newspaper offering a reward for return of the bus. At the time the owner placed the ad from Norfolk, Virginia, she said she had lost CB radios in New York before, but never an entire bus. It stayed missing until mid-January. This ad proved crucial when 2 weeks ago the bus turned up at a repair shop. The repairman couldn't find the owner. Someone remembered the ad and realized they had found the bogus bus.
It's an oddity, this one.
Stealing a bus in New York.
Stealing a bus and a lot of cars, but it's the first bus that we've had in quite a while.
Where was the bus when it was stolen? Apparently, it was used to ferry inmate families to various prisons around the state. 2 people in custody, both charged with criminal possession of a stolen bus. One of those 2 previously arrested for stealing a drag racer, which police picked up in front of the Bronx Criminal Court building. Will Spens, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Still ahead tonight on Eyewitness News, an unusual sight in Moscow, a Soviet leader talking about peace in front of a star-studded audience.
And tonight, a special report looking at America through the eyes of Soviet immigrants. Tonight, funny man Yakov Smirnov.
I'm Nick Kristofferson from USSR. Here in this country can be what you choose. I chose to be wealthy as Howard Hughes.
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Lincoln Mercury Dealers.
Relatives of Soviet dissident Joseph Bagun here in New York are still not sure tonight whether the Hebrew teacher has been released from prison. This afternoon, 14 Bagun supporters were arrested as they demonstrated outside the Soviet mission, calling Soviet leader Gorbachev a liar. Yesterday, a Soviet spokesman had said Bagun was being freed, but his family inside the Soviet Union said it was not so. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev spoke to a star-studded international peace conference in Moscow today. Among those in attendance, on the left of your picture, America star Kris Kristofferson. Gorbachev talked about changes coming in the Soviet Union.
What we want to do to make our country better won't damage anybody else. The whole world will gain from it.
Gorbachev says changes in Russian society will be widespread but will conform to the socialist values of the Communist Party. Ernie?
It's only fiction, a drama about life in the U.S. 10 years after a Soviet takeover. But the ABC miniseries America is meant to make us think about freedom. Well, in part 2 of our Eyewitness News special report, Mary Nissenson tonight shows us how freedom is perceived by some people who left the Soviet Union to live here in America. Mary?
Well, Ernie, tonight we're going to meet comic Yakov Smirnov. He says we're all taking the America controversy much too seriously. Smirnov wants us to see the lighter side of a Soviet invasion. Says Smirnov, at least there'd be plenty of parking spaces and always a policeman when you need one.
Hi. Hi, my name is Yakov Smirnov, and I'm an American. Yeah.
He's the quintessential American success story. Came here 9 years ago with $100 and speaking no English, and got a job as a busboy at Grossinger's. Now Smirnov's a comedy headliner, making millions teaching us how funny our own language is.
Another ad says, we guarantee our furniture and we stand behind it for 6 months. That's why I left Soviet Union. In America, there is plenty of light beer, and you can always find a party. In Russia, party always finds you. You can outfund anyone here.
I'm bad, right?
You're awful.
Thank you.
As Nikolai in the sitcom What a Country, Smirnov gives us license to laugh at the lighter side of the immigrant experience.
I'm Nick Kristofferson from USSR. Here in this country can be what you choose. I chose to be wealthy as Howard Hughes. I wanna be an American.
He has acquired all the spoils of capitalism, and while he doesn't take himself or his wealth too seriously, he does take joy in his remarkable accomplishments.
It's a test of life in a way. When you leave your country and you don't know the language and you come out to a new place, that's when you say, okay, I'm gonna do it. And when you do, then you feel good about it.
Success has brought Smirnov all the material comforts he ever wanted, even some luxuries he didn't dream existed back in the days when he was living in Russia. But the one thing he values most, he didn't have to pay for.
I wanna be an American.
On the 4th of July on Governor's Island, Yakov Smirnov became a U.S. citizen.
Yes, I felt it was my birthday party because I was being newborn American and joining a big family, and it's like somebody gives you lifetime membership to the best country club in the world.
Tomorrow night in part 3 of our series, we're going to introduce you to Semyon Vekshtin, an extraordinary young composer and conductor, and a very, very proud American. Ernie?
Thank you, Mary. Yakov has a lot to say, and still ahead. In fact, you have a chance to say something. Your chance to make your opinion count.
Should condom ads be played on TV? We'll tell you how you can register your vote.
Lawyers for model Jerry Hall, longtime girlfriend of rock star Mick Jagger, asked a judge in Barbados today to dismiss a charge that she tried to smuggle 25 pounds of marijuana into the country. Now, Hall was arrested last month. She had been expecting a package from London when one arrived unmarked. An airport worker put Miss Hall's name on it. Hall accepted the package at the airport and then, seeing what was inside, denied it was hers. The trial continues on Friday.
The issue is clear-cut, but there seem to be no easy answers. Should TV stations air commercials for condoms? Some people say they're offended by the very idea. Others say it would save lives. Garrett Glazer has more now on this controversy. Garrett?
Kaity, the question is, where do you strike the balance? Advocates say the networks are hypocritical and priggish. TV programs, they say, portray thousands of sexual encounters each year, and yet the networks won't air life-saving information about safe sex and condoms.
AIDS isn't just a gay disease, it's everybody's disease, and everybody who gets it dies. The Surgeon General says proper use of condoms can reduce your risk, so you'd be crazy not to use them.
At last count, 24 stations have accepted advertisements for condoms, ads which nowhere discuss their use as a birth control device. Rather, the ads stress using condoms to prevent disease. The advertisements have also been approved by these cable networks: USA Cable, Turner Broadcasting, ESPN, Lifetime, Cable News Network, and VH1. But not the big 3 over-the-air TV networks, and don't expect them to be, according to veteran industry observer, author, and editor Les Brown.
The network has the entire country to worry about. They have the Bible Belt to worry about. They have the Catholic population to worry about. All kinds of people who might take offense at this. If any of the networks today took condom advertising and sent it out, there's a good chance that 100 of the stations would be very upset. And rather than carry the commercial, would block it with a commercial of their own.
An Eyewitness News survey of the 3 network affiliates and the 3 independent stations in New York shows not one currently accepts condom ads. All had basically the same explanation, that some of our viewers would find them offensive, although channels 2, 4, and 7 said they're reviewing the policy. The need for widespread advertising of condoms on television is acknowledged by many health professionals and even by the U.S. Surgeon General.
The best protection against infection right now, barring abstinence, is the use of a condom.
Well, how do you feel about the controversy? Should condom advertisements be aired on television? To vote yes, call 1-900-720-2160. And to vote no, 1-900-720-2166. Now, I'll repeat the numbers. Yes is 1-900-720-2160. No is 1-900-720-2166. And those calls will cost you each 50 cents. And you can learn the results of our Eyewitness News poll on tomorrow night's 6 o'clock newscast. Ernie, Kaity?
All right, thank you, Garrett. Eli Zaret up next with the latest on Dwight Gooden.
You betcha. And also the Knicks play the Sixers in one of Dr. J's final appearances at Madison Square Garden. Coming up.